phone at noon and found your name in squares. The little colored boxes waiting like held breath. I touched the first anniversary and it went dim in my thumb. Then the dinner at your sister's and the rain check for the museum. I erased the shared calendar 1 month at a time. May fold it into January without a sound. The dentist, the ferry, the borrowed key, the Sunday we were meant to drive. Each plan came loose from the screen, like paper from wet glue. Your birthday slipped away before I could decide whether to leave it stranded or give it back the sky. I watched the dates dissolve, their tiny fonts go pale, as if we had never promised our future to those cells. Now the phone is just a mirror for my tired face. No reminders waking early, no red rings on the page. I set it down beside the bed and let the room go still, while the blank black glass keeps every vanished thing. I sat down on the floor where the paint still knows your name. Dust in the window light, like sleep that never came. One blue cup by the wall and a mark where the table stood. I traced the scratches slow, like I could make them good. You laugh in the bend of every beam. I let the quiet answer, and it sounded like a dream. This room still holds us gently in the hollow by the door. I can hear your voice come back to me softly like before. The air remembers everything, the little things we wore, and I stay here calm and open in the hollow by the door. Touched my hand like a friend passing through. A thread of summer dust turned golden and withdrew. I found a chipped red plate and a note beneath the shelf. It said what we could not say when we were there ourselves. So I breathed into the silence, let it settle on my skin. There was grief, but there was tenderness, like light pulled very thin. This room still holds us gently in the hollow by the door. I can hear your voice come back to me softly like before. The air remembers everything, the little things we wore, and I stay here calm and open in the hollow by the door. the chair to one side, the whole world shifts a little, but the memory stays balanced, resting in the middle. I won't chase the shape of gone or call it back by force. I only let the feeling live and follow its soft course. This room still holds us gently in the hollow by the door. I can hear your voice come back to me softly like before. The air remembers everything, the little things we wore, and I leave it there unbroken in the hollow by the door. I stood then touched the frame as the evening turned to blue. The empty room was empty, but it was still full of you. I click through your names tonight like a drawer of paper moons. One by one they slipped away from the place I kept them safe. Every track was still a door, every chorus dust and rain. I let go of the little ones that knew your shape by heart. My thumb shook on the last one as if mercy might arrive, but the room stayed very still and I let the silence in. Now the library is lighter, only me and a blank white page. I can read again, I can breathe again. In the back of the bathroom drawer, I found one earring in a paper nest. Tiny pearl, silver hook, cold as a spoon against my palm. Its twin is gone like you, and the little dent beside the soap. I held it up to the window glass, watched the morning bend through its loop. Your laugh left rings on the mirror. Your coat still knows the shape of your shoulder. Even now I sort the scraps like a person hoping thread can mend wood. I could wear it on one ear like a secret I never got to tell, but I set it back in the dark, where the drawer keeps what the hands can't keep. Some things vanish clean, some things stay and ache. Tonight I leave the drawer half open, a soft breath for the missing pair. The room is small and kind and tired, and I let it be exactly that. One earring, one heart, both still here in the quiet. tile by the glass, your hand in mine, a paper bag, warm through the little cracks. The window still shows braided rolls, golden under the noon. I stood there longer than I meant, like I was waiting for you. The smell came out and caught my chest, soft as a closing door. Fresh loaves rising through the air like sundaes kept in store. I pictured butter on the plate, your laugh with jam on your sleeve. I bought one loaf and carried home the way we used to leave. Now every block feels slightly changed, even the stones remember. I touch the napkin in my coat and fold up all that weather. I let the bread go stale on purpose, just to keep that day in view. One slice, one breath, one quiet street, and me still missing you. Stand by gate 18 with your old habits in my coat. The rolling suitcases pass like prayers that never learn my name. I still look up at every face for the way you used to land. My smile stayed on the tarmac and my face forgot the spark. Glass keeps showing strangers in the place you used to meet me. I watch each door open slow, like it might remember us. There's a paper cup gone cold in my hand in the same old hour. I came here to feel you near, but the distance learned my skin. Now the screen above the gate moves names I don't need to chase. I hear laughter from a family, and it passes clean through me. I could turn and walk to daylight, I could leave this polished floor, but some part of me still stands here where I loved you into air. So I let the quiet hold me, the airport breathe around me. One more look at the arriving doors, then I carry me back home. The first clip still hooked on the rail, cold metal in my palm like a promise gone pale. You laughed last winter while the bulbs trembled gold. Now I twist each little knot and the night feels old. The red string slips loose from the chair by the door. One paper star bends flat on the timbered floor. I fold up your scarf that still smells like rain, lay it in the box with the ornaments and pain. else died. I feed the cable coil through my tired hands, like I'm learning how to love what I can't understand. There's no grand goodbye, only small hard tasks, a ladder, a hook, and the ghost of what lasts. So I let the last bolt fall into my coat and carry down the dark with a steady throat. I folded the blanket slow, like it might say your name. The pillow kept your dent, even after I made the bed. Fresh sheets, cool and plain, I pulled them tight by hand. Your side still knows your shape, as if the night stayed there. Stood at the mattress edge and let the quiet stay. Some things leave the room, but they don't leave the weight. I found your sock by the chair and a button in the seam. The window held its breath while I smoothed the corners down. I thought the linen might help make the house feel new again, but the crease where you slept kept opening under my palm. So I left the lamp on low and sat with the folded past. The bed looked almost kind, waiting for a body it knew. Folded your sweater into the last box, the one I labeled my life with you. I pushed down the corners with both hands shaking and sealed it with tape and the silence I wear. Cups in the cabinet still know your laughter. The dent in the table still holds your name. I leave the key by the door like a small apology, and walk past the mirror without asking it back. Outside, the rain keeps counting the window, one slow beat at a time. I learn how to breathe here with empty arms and a quieter face. The box sits waiting by the bed frame, plain cardboard, brown tape, and nothing more to say. took the long way past produce, held my breath by the pairs. My basket knocked the paper towels like I was never there. You know the part of this store I still can't make myself cross, where the top shelf keeps your favorite bowl and the blue box lines me up. I folded my hands in the freezer glow, counted the peas, then I let them go. One more turn and I should be fine, but my feet won't cross that painted line. I turn away from aisle 7, where your cereal waits in rows. That little red box knows my name, and I do not want to know. I leave the cart by the crackers, I walk like I forgot the sign. Your favorite brand is still a wound I am not ready to open tonight. The clerk at checkout said, "Have a good one." I smiled like that was true. My apples rolled against the milk while I kept thinking of you. Funny how a paper coupon can take me straight to that place, a corner full of Saturday mornings and the ache inside my face. I folded my hands in the freezer glow, counted the peas, then I let them go. One more turn and I should be fine, but my feet won't cross that painted line. I turn away from aisle 7, where your cereal waits in rows. That little red box knows my name, and I do not want to know. I leave the cart by the crackers, I walk like I forgot the sign. Your favorite brand is still a wound I am not ready to open tonight. Maybe someday I'll stand there, pick it up, set it back down. Maybe grief gets smaller in a brighter, ordinary town. But today I only borrow what I can carry home. Bread, pears, and a quiet heart, learning how to be alone. I took the long way past produce, and I made it to the door. The grocery hum behind me wasn't asking anymore. I held the tickets in my hand, 6 months folded in my pocket. You said beach air and cheap wine, I said yes before I knew better. The email landed like a cold coin on the table by the sink. Subject line shining like a door shutting slow. Name after name, seat after seat, all that you planned now gone to green. Refund notice on a blue-white screen. Your name's still there where the trip should be. Refund notice, soft and clean. What we were coming back to me. the numbers settle down one line at a time. The dates went pale on the calendar like chalk and rain. I kept the postcards in the drawer next to the old hotel key. I don't blame the sky or the miles or the map. I just miss the version of us that packed light, that laughed in the aisle and never looked back. Refund notice on a blue-white screen. Your name's still there where the trip should be. Refund notice, soft and clean. But we were coming back to me. You left your jacket on the bench, and I still see the crease you made. Your promise sat between the slats like rainwater in the shade. I watched the park go pale and thin, while your last words stayed close to my skin. The pond held still beneath the reeds, a coin of light, a muted blue. I traced the grain along the wood where your hand once rested through. The afternoon leaned low and slow, as if it knew what I would know. Now every breath comes soft and slow, like fog along the river edge. I keep your name where silence ends, and set it down without a pledge. If love was only meant to stay, it would have learned a gentler way. So I sit where the pigeons turn, and let the light erase the ache. The bench is old, the air is kind, and the world is wide awake. I found your name again on the cracked blue screen. Your message dated that morning before the candles burned out. I held the phone to my ear like it might warm the room. Your laugh came thin and small through the little speaker seam. You sang my birthday wrong, and it still hurt to love. I watched the seconds lean in, then I let your voice go. One tap and the air changed. The whole apartment listened for the shape of what you were leaving behind. It started with pause, then the careful kind of kindness, the one that asked too late how I was really doing. I stared at the delete mark like a door I had to close. My thumb shook once, then the screen went blank. Nothing came back after that. Not the breath, not the static, just my reflection in a darkened little window. I learned your goodbye could live inside me and still be smaller than silence when I finally chose it. So I set the phone down slow near the cold ring of my mug, and in the quiet after your voice disappeared, found your library card pressed inside a borrowed novel. Blue plastic bent at one corner, like it slept there for years. The due date is faded, ink ghosting the edge. Same way our easy promises slip past the weather. I held it near the window, watched the afternoon show through it, all that pale sunlight, and your name in my hand. I remembered the desk by the door, your coat over one chair, the quiet way you laughed when you said you'd bring it back. Now the pages have yellowed and the front desk has new paint, but I still know that feeling of returning late to love. I slipped the card back in place where the story had kept it, and closed the book gently, like closing a door in rain. Parked by the paint-worn line where your door slammed loud that night. The ashtray held your cherry lip stain, and my hand stayed still on the wheel. You said things like broken glass. I said less than I should have said. Now the windshield keeps your outline in the steam of my last breath. I left the hurt in the front seat. I folded the key in my palm. That streetlight stutters above me like a promise gone calm. I watched it blink on the pavement. I watched it go soft in the rain. And whatever I was holding quit calling your name. The storefront clock turned over when the baker pulled his gate down. A paper bag rolled past my tire like a thought I could not keep. Your voice came back in pieces from the crack in the dash, then gone. I traced the scar on the armrest where your ring once tapped along. I left the hurt in the front seat. I folded the key in my palm. That streetlight stutters above me like a promise gone calm. I watched it blink on the pavement. I watched it go soft in the rain. And whatever I was holding quit calling your name. There was a time I chased the spark like it was proof enough to stay. But the lot held all my answers in the spaces love can break. So I let the engine idle till the silence learned my face. And I drove off without turning to that little trembling blaze. Now the lot is just a lot again. Cold lines, empty spaces, dust. And the dark above the dashboard does not ask me to trust. I turned the wheel into our old place. Same cracked curb, same faded paint. Your side of the car still feels pressed in, like the seat remembers where you'd lean. I cut the engine and let it rest, my hands on the glass, my chest on the breath. There's a broken coin in the cup holder, a receipt curled up like a small white leaf, the ash in the vent, the cold key ring, all these tiny things still know your shape. I watch the clock without wanting time, the lot stays still, and so do I. The dark gets kind when I stop reaching, when I stop naming what's already gone. I leave the window cracked for the night air, for the quiet to sit where we used to belong. Found the flower in the book, flat as a letter left too long. It's gold at thin to buttered straw, but I knew your hands were there, folded in that paper grave. Our first anniversary kept still, the page smelled like a rainy hall, and your laugh came back to me. Petals held their tiny bends like little ribs beneath the skin. Time took the color from their cheeks, yet left the outline living on. I set it by the window pane and watched the afternoon go pale. It looked like something we became, softened but not gone away. If love once there was a breathing thing that fit itself inside my life. So I leave the book half open now and let the silence turn its page. The flower keeps your absence warm, the way a hand keeps shaped glass. I found your keychain deep in the junk drawer, tangled with an old receipt and a dead house key. The tiny charm was still there, grinning under the dust, like it had been waiting for hands I used to know. I held it by the ring, and the metal bit my skin. Same little chip on the edge, same scratch from your front step. The drawer closed slow, like it knew my name, and the house went quiet around that little smile. I almost left it there among the batteries and pins, but memory has a weight that makes the fingers stay. So I put it by the lamp where the evening could see it, a small bright witness to the shape you left behind. I won't call it treasure, I won't call it pain. I just know that tiny face refused to disappear. I carry the pot in both hands back through the same grocery aisles. Its leaves are still bright green, like they never learned the news. The cashier asked for a reason, I say it died where we lived, not the plant, just the room. We watered it by the window, you measured light with your palm. I learned your habit of turning it so every side could face the day. Now the dirt keeps its shape like a small brown memory. I can still see your sleeve brushing the leaf tips dry. The tag on the nursery hook looks kinder than I feel. I set the pot down gently as if it might hear me leave. A little root trails loose, a thread from another life, green, patient and silent, inside a story that ended. Say take it to the counter, they say we can give it a new home. I nod like I understand that and watch the stem stay upright. When they lift it from my hands, nothing breaks in the room, but I carry the shape of us all the way back to my car. postmarks all through red states and rain. One with the blue chipped rim, one with the map of our lane. You packed them in towels like they were glass and bone. I laughed at the handle shaped like a tiny home. At the thrift store door your hand brushed mine. The cardboard box felt too light this time. She picked the white one up, turned it in her palm, read our little sticker like it meant calm. The other one stayed there beside the folded shirts, quiet on the shelf, holding all our hurt. I watched her smile when she found the prize. A boy in a winter coat held the door twice. You stood by the rack with your mouth set thin, and I knew right then what we were giving in. The cashier rang that single cup, and I saw our trip slowly coming up. She picked the white one up, turned it in her palm, read our little sticker like it meant calm. The other one stayed there beside the folded shirts, quiet on the shelf, holding all our hurt. Outside a bus hissed past and the light went pale. You said we should go, but I lingered and failed. I wanted both cups back, I wanted the road, I wanted the joke, I wanted what we both had known. By the time we left, the bell had gone still. Your shadow on the glass looked smaller than a spill. And somewhere in back, one mug found a shelf, while the one with the blue chipped rim kept me to myself. We took the curtain down together from the frame above the sink. Your hands on the brass ring, mine on the folded hem. The morning came in cleaner over the cup and chair, a pale square on the floorboards where your shadow used to rest. Now the wall remembers outlines, a faint crease in the air. The room is brighter, yes, but it lost the shape of you. I set the pins in a saucer like little silver seeds and listen to the window lean open to the street. I thought light would heal the edges, make the missing part less sharp, but every open corner shows me what it was. So I read with the curtain gone and let the silence stay soft as dust in afternoon, soft as your goodbye. The corner sign, same brick, same awning seam. Your laugh still sits on that patio, like steam above a cup of tea. The windows hold a yellow glow, the table's dressed in white. I see two strangers take our seat and look away from the light. I keep my hands on the wheel, like they might shake the road. The map of us is folded now, but it never quite lets go. I watched our place go on, with other hands, other names. Your chair was there in my mind, still warm in its empty frame. I kept my eyes on the curb, I kept my heart. Sets fresh water down, laughing at someone new. A fork glints once through the glass, then vanishes from view. I remember the salt on your sleeve, the cake with the tilted candle. How you said this year felt kind, like a porch with a patient handle. Now the street folds into dusk, and I drive a little slower. Some love stays in the bones long after the dinner's over. I watched our place go on, with other hands, other names. Your chair was there in my mind, still warm in its empty frame. I kept my eyes on the curb, I kept my heart in the lane. Maybe that's how tender leaves, not with a crash, but care. A room can keep the shape of us after we've both left there. So I let the engine hum, and the night keep taking shape, while that old little restaurant glows softly in my wake. And I don't turn back this time, I just let the moment pass. Your memory rides beside me, like a handprint on the glass. the drawer and breathe you in. Old paper cedar, a bruise on my skin. Your first letter bends in my tired hand. The ink went pale, but I still understand. I read it slow, like a wound in the rain. Every careful word brings back the shape of your name. I can't unread you, I can't put you back. Your quiet little sentences still follow my tracks. I can't unread you when the night goes thin. Your words lie awake in the place I keep them in. The blue stamp corner is curled like a leaf. Your joke in the margin still cuts through me. The second page has a line I missed, saying someday soon, like a promise with a fist. I fold the edge, then I let it go, but the room stays full of everything you used to know. I can't unread you, I can't put you back. Your quiet little sentences still follow my tracks. I can't unread you when the night goes thin. Your words lie awake in the place I keep them in. There's dust on the latch and salt in the seam. I thought time would soften what you left in me, but the drawer stays open like a door to a fire, and I stand there listening to the ache retire. I can't unread you, I can't put you back. Your quiet little sentences still follow my tracks. I can't unread you when the dark comes in. Your words lie awake in the place I keep them in. I climbed the hill at dusk with the grass still warm at my knees. The sky spilled apricot and rose over the broken line of trees. Your name stayed quiet in my mouth like a pebble under my tongue. I watched the water turn to gold where our old summer used to run. The bench is split by weather now, the fence leans under vines. I trace the place beside me, and the evening answers fine. The sunset still comes kind, it paints the same slow fire, but the empty in my hand keeps its own quiet cry. The sun sunset still comes kind, and I let it wash me through. Beautiful as ever, lonely without you. Drifted over the field, caught high in the cooling air. Children ran with muddy shoes, and nobody asked me where. I folded your old farewell into the pocket of my coat. It smelled like rain on cedar boards and the salt from that last note. The sky turned blue at the edges, then softened into bruise. I learned the shape of missing by the shadow it leaves through. If I go down before dark, the path will still know my feet. If I stay and watch the embers, they will burn in memory. The sunset still comes kind, it paints the same slow fire, but the empty in my hand keeps its own quiet cry. The sunset still comes kind, and I let it wash me through. Beautiful as ever, lonely without you. One last band of amber, then the hill goes pale and still. I walk home carrying the color and the space you left to fill. Shook out the corners and heard the old street. A puddle by the curb, a buzz hissing past. Your laugh in the sleep seam, my sleeve against yours. That night in the crossing, still wet at the hem. Now I hang it by the door like a patient bird, waiting for a storm that knows our name. Stays quiet, the kettle goes off, and I let the memory dry in the dark. It only returns me to your steady hand. So I leave it there with the shoes and the dust, a little red shelter for the rain we loved. I walked in with your promise wrapped around my hand. The counter smelled like polish and a day I couldn't plan. He took it like a small moon from a weathered, shaking palm, turned the stone to face the lamp, and kept his voice calm. He checked the little prongs like he was reading weather, said the metal still remembered how we fit them all together. The ring slid past his thumb with a tiny flash of fire, then it disappeared inside a drawer of quiet wire. I watched the velvet open like a mouth that knew my name, a soft black cradle waiting for a love that won't remain. He laid it down so gently as if it might still ache, and folded in the silence what I could not quite break. Glass, my reflection looked older by a year. One hand bare, one hand faithful to the trembling I held near. Somebody else will someday hear that little box click shut and stand where I am standing with a bright and careful trust. He slid the lid across it, and the room went still and kind. I left with empty fingers and a future out of sight.